Okay, so when we're looking for whether this person's a single observer or a single decider, what are some of the examples that we've seen with the realm of single observers?
The extremes are the easiest to see.
And that's basically what we're talking about. If you are so obsessively all in on that one giant observer, having to go in and fill it in with that other observer is where the drain comes. Therefore, you could get really obsessive and
the
fearful.
immaturity of like, I did the research. Oh, I did research plenty fine. Like, well, you're using research on your fourth function in a horrible, immature way that nobody can tell you that.
Right.
And you think you're doing awesome, but you're not doing real research.
Right, that's
The double observers, where they got the functions calm in the middle, there's
Right.
not an obsession about either one.
Right.
The biggest thing that gives away a single observer is I love this observer and I hate that observer. So let me now bring these imbalances to the table to study.
Right.
By the way, I love everything that comes through this one and I hate everything that comes through this one. Oh, by the way, I'm seeing a clear picture, trust me.
Again, the government has a plan to control us. You hear a lot of the EPs talk about that, or the man is keeping us down. There's a lot of language around the intensity of fear of using that other observer.
Unless I see it, I don't believe it. The world looks flat to me, therefore it's flat. The NASA's lying to us, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
I don't believe the information unless I see it for myself. I don't believe them, those people, their connecting of the dots.
Right.
I'm just believing my experience and my point of view.
Okay, so the government has a plan to control us. You hear a lot of the EPs talk about that, or the man is keeping us down. There's a lot of language around the intensity of fear of using that other observer. Here's a really good example. So Eddie is known for, so you search Eddie Bravo and conspiracies, and he's just it's like he goes down the list of conspiracies of just every single one, all in.
In the EP variety, unless I see it, I don't believe it. The world looks flat to me, therefore it's flat. The NASA's lying to us, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
I don't believe the information unless I see it for myself. I don't believe them, those people, their connecting of the dots.
The government
Right.
tries to control us with propaganda. Look it up. He kept saying, look it up,
Right.
look into it. Eddie, look into it, Bravo. Okay, why? And he finally spit out, it's easier for them to control us if we're in a ball.
Which is just what you're supposed to say as an EP.
Yes.
They are trying to control us. Like,
Yes.
that's how, that comes out in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Well,
right.
I'm a single observer, and I don't think they're trying to control us. Like, somewhere, the DMV or the doctor's office or your mom or school, you have some irrational on a spectrum of other people, a heightened irrational fear of control.
Totally.
If you're an EP, single observer.
Right. Totally. And the opposite goes for all the IJs out there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's worked for us? How do we see this in our own self? So first of all, if you are a single observer, to know the truth, we triangulate our math. I can watch Eddie and go, wow, that's crazy. That seems so intense. Most observers blow this out of proportion.
Right.
And then the question is, how am I doing that same thing?
Right. You got to trust the math.
Way? Yeah.
You got to look at the crazy people and laugh your ass off and then go, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I'm doing that exact thing somewhere.
Right.
What does this have to do with the world being
No,
flat?
this is how gangster our government is. There was a war on drugs. We started a war on drugs. Turns out we're bringing it in. Then there's a war on terrorism. Turns out we created Al Qaeda. You understand why I'm crazy? I'm crazy because of that shit. I'm like, you could believe that shit. You want to believe that shit?
But the
Good luck,
problem
but I
is
ain't.
that you just apply this to everything.
Basically, anything
Even
comes from the government.
dinosaurs.
Anything
But-
coming from
but
the government.
The dinosaurs don't come from the government.
Just there's so much fraud when you look into
Astronomy
it. Like, I don't
doesn't
trust
come from the
shit.
government. It comes from scientists.
Look into it. Look into it, man.
But Eddie, I have looked into it. Look, these
Dinosaurs
all
are for kids.
Look, this is you could go over these different
That looks
sections
so fake.
of the Earth.
That looks
yeah,
so
well, you can
fake.
look at the next one that comes 10 minutes later, and maybe you won't think that one's fake. Like, oh wow, that one's kind of
It
real.
looks all fake.
It doesn't look fake.
fake.
To me, it looks like what the fucking Earth probably looks like when you're 22,000 miles away.
To you, it does, not to me.
But
This is NASA's. by
It's no
the
big
way.
deal.
Oh, so NASA
Can
has
we
one
agree
too.
to disagree?
Yeah, but why think that it does?
Because I don't trust shit.
Why think that
I don't trust
the
shit.
government does make these fake pictures of the Earth? Don't you think that would be
You know,
like a
we could
risky
speculate.
thing?
You want to speculate? I mean, I could
Sure.
speculate.
I wanna
don't
hear
know.
you speculate.
It's easier to control people when they're on a ball.
That doesn't even make any sense. Why would it be easier to get people to listen if they're on a ball rather than they're on a plate?
If you look into the experiments to prove that the Earth is spinning, all of them failed. Look into it.
What do
you could just think that. We've been indoctrinated into thinking
that's
all
not
this
true.
stuff.
That's not true.
Okay, I'm crazy. I get it.
But you're saying
I'm just saying I don't
something-
trust it.
You're saying something that people have been proving for hundreds and hundreds
Look
of years.
into the Michelson-Morley experiments. That was Einstein said it himself. Einstein said to this day, Einstein said there's
bring
no
him into
proof
this.
that we're moving. Dude, you guys just haven't looked into it. That's
No,
all it is.
You're
You
watching
guys haven't
YouTube
looked into
videos,
it.
Eddie. There's
Yeah.
a difference between looking into it and watching YouTube videos.
That's like
Eddie, stop.
that's like The Economist.
So you think it's more likely that everyone is in on it and lying than it is one guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about and he makes a YouTube video and you get convinced. And it's attractive to you because it seems like it would be an amazing conspiracy to be ahead of. And you get trapped in the fucking rabbit hole, and you go down the flat Earth rabbit hole, and you find yourself defending things with experiments that you don't even understand, which means you haven't
just
really
read
looked
some
into
shit
it.
that he pulled up off the internet,
But
and
I know that you don't
and you're like
understand it.
all over it.
I know you didn't understand
No, I
it.
understand it now. It
He had
doesn't
explained it to you
matter.
twice.
It doesn't matter.
But I understood it, and he had explained it to you twice. You didn't understand it. You were arguing
No,
for it.
no. This is the proof.
Eddie, people have known it's spinning forever. That's how you. That's how the seasons
Gravity,
work.
baby.
That's how you see the sun. We spin around. That's why it makes
explain this to
eclipses.
me.
That's why we
That's why you
age,
can track
too.
time zones. And
You're saying all the correct shit.
It acts as a sundial.
You're saying all the shit.
Eddie, there's a fundamental problem with the way you approach these things.
No,
and
there's not a problem.
The problem is you
I don't
go
trust
into
shit.
them.
You do.
But it's not that I
I don't have
trust
a
shit.
problem.
No, but Eddie, you know I don't trust shit.
I'm having fun with it.
You know I don't.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if
That's
it's
a
flat or round. It doesn't matter.
That's
I'm
a
having
bad
fun with it.
fallback. You keep saying that. It's a bad fallback because what we're saying is there are conspiracies. The problem is when you think everything is conspiracy, you act as a psyop guy and you fuck people over that want to look at real conspiracies. There's a lot of really crazy evidence. When you start thinking that the world is flat, the dinosaurs aren't real, all this nutty shit that you believe, and you just jump into it with, the problem is it discredits all these other things that you believe that might be real. Because the other things have some validity to them.
You just haven't looked into it. That's all.
Eddie.
I used to say the same
Eddie,
stuff.
you're talking about the
I
Earth being
said this-
flat.
I'm
Thousands of
saying the
scientists
same
have
thing.
looked into it. You think they're all wrong? That's so insane.
You haven't looked into it.
I have.
No, you have.
Oh my God.